Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and look at the week's really significant news.
And this week, like most weeks lately, it feels like AI is just accelerating, changing how we work, how we interact with everything, really.
Absolutely. So, we've dug into a whole range of sources: government strategies, business reports, tech announcements, market news, basically pulling out the key AI developments.
Yeah, the goal here is to give you the practical insights. What does this actually mean for you, for your business, your career path?
Yeah.
We want to skip the super technical jargon and focus on the impact.
Exactly. Our mission: extract the vital stuff and explain its relevance. So, let's jump right in. First theme: AI is spreading its wings, showing up in more and more industries. How about we start with government?
Okay, yeah. What's interesting there is the pragmatism we're seeing. It's less about sci-fi concepts and more about um, tangible improvements.
Like what specifically?
Well, think about agencies like the Australian Federal Police or the Tax Office
Right.
looking into AI for better data analysis. That directly translates to potentially more efficient operations, right?
Uh-huh.
And there's talk about AI helping different government systems actually communicate better. That could mean much smoother public services down the line.
And we saw examples like the Microsoft Copilot trials, even those AI cameras in Sydney being mentioned as potential, real-world applications.
Precisely. It feels like a shift towards concrete benefits.
So for businesses watching this space, it seems like there are opportunities, right? Developing AI tools specifically for government needs tax, safety, that kind of thing.
Definitely. But one of the sources really stressed that it's not just about the tech. Strong governance and a clear focus on practical outcomes are crucial.
Yeah, you can't just throw algorithms at problems. It needs to actually solve something useful.
Right. And on a broader scale, thinking about society, Pope Leo XIV's statement on AI caught our eye.
How so?
He drew parallels to past industrial revolutions,
Yeah.
highlighting the potential impact on, human dignity, justice, work itself. It's a reminder that this isn't purely a tech issue.
That's a really important point. It's societal. Businesses need to think ethically, not just technologically.
Exactly. Which brings us nicely to how AI is hitting business operations directly. It seems pretty clear that just buying an AI tool isn't enough.
Oh, definitely not. The reading really hammered home that effective AI integration means fundamentally rethinking how work gets done, the actual workflows and systems.
It's about using AI to make humans better at their jobs, augmenting their expertise, rather than just automating things in a vacuum.
Like the digital transformation era, maybe? When computers came in, you couldn't just drop them on desks. You had to change processes, train people.
Exactly, that analogy was used.
Yeah.
Building AI literacy across the workforce is becoming, well, essential.
And let's face it, a lot of companies are dealing with older IT systems.
Yeah.
One article highlighted the danger of trying to layer sophisticated AI onto outdated infrastructure. It's like putting a jet engine on a biplane.
Huh? Yeah, probably asking for trouble. The potential benefits, efficiency, better decisions are huge, but you have to be ready for the challenges. Employee anxiety, the pain of system updates.
What's the advice then?
Start smaller, maybe. Focus on low-risk applications first, things that can show a clear, high-impact return. That builds confidence and experience.
Sensible. Okay, shifting gears again, what about education? AI's impact there seems like another big discussion point.
Yeah, the focus seems to be moving away from just memorizing facts towards developing broader skills,
Yeah.
adaptability, critical thinking.
That concept of high-agency generalists came up, didn't it? People who can navigate complexity and use the tools effectively.
Exactly. And the potential for personalized learning is huge. Think AI tutors like Sal Khan or the Replit folks envision, tailoring everything to individual student needs.
That's fascinating. More personalized, maybe more accessible learning. But there are downsides or potential risks.
Sure, concerns about students becoming too reliant on AI and, crucially, ensuring everyone has fair access to these tools. Equity is a big question.
And for businesses, opportunities in AI tutoring platforms, maybe? Tech that supports teaching those softer skills like emotional intelligence.
Seems likely. Lots of potential in edtech right now. And this theme of AI augmenting humans carries right into healthcare too. We saw some striking examples.
That ChatGPT story about helping spot thyroid cancer was quite something, someone using it as a sort of initial check based on symptoms.
It really shows AI's potential as a complementary tool, maybe prompting questions you wouldn't have thought of.
And then there was that Face Age tool from Mass General Brigham, AI analyzing photos to predict cancer outcomes based on apparent age.
Yeah, pretty wild stuff. The idea that how old someone looks to an AI correlates with survival rates and could influence treatment decisions, It's novel, to say the least.
It gives clinicians another data point, I suppose. But reliability is key in healthcare, obviously.
Which is why OpenAI's Health Bench platform seems important. Evaluating AI for healthcare conversations involving hundreds of physicians, making it public.
That transparency is vital, isn't it? Building trust.
Absolutely. Okay, let's pivot. A huge area being reshaped by AI is how we find information. Search is changing.
Right, we're hearing a lot about answer engine optimization, or AEO, moving beyond traditional SEO.
Yeah, the idea is you're not just optimizing for keywords anymore. You need to think about how an AI answers questions, addressing clusters of related queries.
So it's more about anticipating the AI's thought process in a way.
Kind of. And we're already seeing startups building tools specifically for AEO analytics, using AI's ability to search the web in real time.
It sounds more dynamic, maybe less predictable than old school SEO.
Definitely less predictable, which could be good for smaller brands, maybe, a chance to get noticed, but challenging for bigger companies wanting consistent visibility.
So the takeaway is focus on creating really comprehensive, authoritative content that an AI will see as trustworthy.
That seems to be the core idea, and the market is definitely paying attention. Look at Alphabet, Google's parent company.
Yeah, that market value drop was huge. 7%, what was it, $138 billion.
A massive hit. It shows real investor concern about AI disrupting their traditional search dominance.
But it's not just Google feeling the heat, right? Competitors are innovating.
For sure. Alibaba's zero search technique sounds potentially revolutionary. They claim it performs better than Google search, but cuts training costs by, like, 88%?
Wow, 88%. That could seriously lower the barrier to entry for advanced search tech.
Exactly. And then you have Perplexity raising $500 million, valuing them at $14 million.
Huge investor confidence in AI-powered search alternatives, then.
Definitely. Suggests people really want new ways to find information beyond just a list of blue links. Okay, so powering all this, let's talk about the underlying tech, the models themselves.
Right. Anthropic's new models, Sonnet and Otis, sound pretty advanced. Reasoning, self-correction.
Yeah, the ability to independently test code, debug, even verify facts using external data. That's a big step up in sophistication.
It suggests more autonomy, maybe more reliability for complex tasks like software development or research.
Potentially, yes. And speaking of software development, that Windsurf AI suite looked interesting too.
Performing on par with the big players, but with that flow awareness feature.
Right, the idea is to help teams collaborate better by showing a shared timeline of how everyone's interacting with the AI. More than just code generation, it's about the workflow.
Makes sense. Integration, not just tools. And Meta's byte-level model, what's the significance there?
It processes text at the raw byte level, not using tokens like most models. This could make it much better at handling multiple languages or even weirdly formatted text.
Pushing the fundamental boundaries of language processing, and they're releasing it openly to researchers.
Yep, which should help accelerate progress. Plus, OpenAI is boosting its model's coding skills too. Speed, precision, following instructions better.
And offering a free mini version alongside the full subscription, making it more accessible.
Exactly. Now, one of the most mind-bending things we saw was this absolute zero AI training method.
Right, the AI learns purely through self-play, no human data involved at all.
That's the claim. Achieving top results in coding and math just by reasoning, deduction, abduction, induction, basically teaching itself.
That's quite a leap. Makes you think about where AI development could go if it doesn't need our data to learn complex things.
It does raise some interesting, maybe even slightly concerning questions about long-term intelligence. But back in the here and now, AI is embedding itself everywhere, especially mobile.
Google's Gemini expansion across Android watches, TVs, cars, XR.
Yeah, voice interaction on your watch, smarter recommendations on TV, help with driving. It's about making all our devices more context-aware and helpful in our daily workflows.
And that Stability AI partnership with ARM, creating an open-source audio generation model for mobile.
Right, generating music, sound effects, whatever, directly on the device. That could be huge for app developers, content creators on the go, less reliance on the cloud.
More power right in your pocket. Okay, shifting slightly, what about the hardware side, those semiconductor export controls?
Yeah, the Trump administration changing tack towards country-specific deals, but keeping restrictions on China, specifically mentioning Huawei's AI chips.
So that impacts the global supply chain for AI hardware, technology partnerships, something businesses need to track.
Definitely. And on the infrastructure investment front, Saudi Arabia's move is massive.
$940 billion through that new company, Humane.
Yep, building advanced data centers, developing large language models specifically for Arabic. It signals the Middle East becoming a major hub for AI development.
Huge investment, huge ambition. Okay, let's talk about the business of AI itself. Partnerships, investments, talent. The Microsoft-OpenAI relationship seems complex.
It's evolving, for sure. Microsoft poured in billions, has a governance role, but OpenAI seems to be pushing to reduce Microsoft's future revenue share.
And exploring other partnerships, too. Suggest they want a bit more independence, maybe.
Could be. The big questions are around things like IP access and tech sharing down the road, especially after 2030. It's really reshaping how big tech partnerships in AI might work.
And Microsoft is also being cautious, right? Banning that Chinese AI app, DeepSeek.
Yeah, citing security concerns. It reflects a growing trend among Western companies being much more careful about vetting AI tools, especially regarding data security.
Trust and security, non-negotiable. What about new investments? Google's AI Futures Fund.
Right, backing startups like Vigil, Synthesia, Replit with cash, but also access to DeepMind tech and expertise. It's Google's way of fueling innovation and staying competitive.
Fostering the ecosystem. And finally, the people side. The demand for AI talent, especially freelancers.
It's exploding, particularly for expertise in agentic AI systems, the more complex ones that can plan and act independently.
That Fiverr data point was wild, an 18,000% increase in searches for those skills.
Staggering. It shows the shift from basic chatbots to needing people who can build these sophisticated, multi-step AI agents. Our AI consultants are in high demand too.
And interestingly, there's also a growing need for people who can sort of humanize AI output, right? Rewriting scripts, marketing copy so it doesn't sound robotic.
Exactly. Plus, skills in workflow automation, using all these new AI content platforms. Businesses need people who can actually integrate and leverage this stuff effectively.
So professionals really need to keep upskilling to match this evolving demand.
No question. Okay, last theme. Ethics and transparency. Crucial stuff.
OpenAI's transparency initiative stood out, launching a safety dashboard.
Yeah, showing performance data on content safety, accuracy, vulnerabilities, planning regular updates. It's about giving organizations more data to make informed decisions about using AI and managing risks.
Empowering users, building trust through data. And speaking of trust, SoundCloud clarified its stance on using artist content for AI training.
Right, they came out and said they don't use artist uploads for training AI models. It followed some confusion after a terms of service update.
Highlights that bigger debate, though, doesn't it? AI training data, creator rights. Platforms need to be really clear about their policies.
Absolutely. Transparency is key for maintaining trust with creators and users alike.
Okay, so wrapping up this week's deep dive. Wow, AI integration is just everywhere, isn't it? Government, business, education, healthcare.
Yeah, it's pervasive. And the way we find information is fundamentally changing with AI search and AEO.
Plus, the core AI tech keeps leaping forward, models getting smarter, new training methods emerging, AI embedding into mobile and hardware.
And the business side is incredibly dynamic, big partnerships shifting, huge investments flowing in, and this massive demand for new kinds of talent.
And underpinning it all, this ongoing focus on ethics, safety, and transparency.
So for you listening, understanding these trends, seeing how they connect, it's just essential now for navigating your career, your business. It's not optional anymore.
Definitely not. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Consider the growing autonomy we're seeing in AI.
Yeah, models that can self-correct, the absolute zero training.
How will that increasing independence, that reasoning capability, fundamentally change the nature of work, of innovation in the next few years? Something to really mull over.
That's a big question.
Absolutely. And to stay right on top of all these developments and to get links to the articles we talked about today, make sure you subscribe to the RAIZOR Report newsletter.
You'll get the latest AI insights and those source links delivered straight to your inbox.